you become comfortable with uncertainty, infinite possibilities open up in your life. Eckhart Tolle. We spend so much of our lives trying to control everything. We make plans. We build routines. We tell ourselves that if we're careful enough, prepared enough, perfect enough, maybe we won't get hurt. Maybe we won't fail. Maybe nothing will change. But life doesn't work that way. And deep down, we know it. Because no matter how hard we try to hold it all together, life keeps shifting beneath our feet. Things fall apart. Plans unravel. People change. The future stays silent. And in that silence, fear begins to whisper. What if I lose everything? What if I don't know who I am without control? What if I can't handle what's coming? But what if that fear is lying to you? What if letting go doesn't mean losing yourself, but finally meeting yourself? What if the unknown isn't a threat, but a doorway? Because as Eckhart Tolle reminds us, when you become comfortable with uncertainty, infinite possibilities open up in your life. Not because you figured everything out, but because you stopped needing to. You stopped clinging and started trusting, not in the outcome, but in your own ability to walk through it. When you become comfortable with uncertainty, infinite possibilities open up in your life. At first glance, it sounds beautiful, but for most of us, it's terrifying. Because we've been taught since childhood that certainty equals safety. That the more we plan, predict, and prepare, the less life will hurt. So we chase control. We try to control what people think of us, how the future will unfold, what we feel, even what we don't feel. And slowly, we lose our sense of peace. Because the truth is, control is an illusion. No matter how carefully you plan, life will still surprise you. The job might fall through. The relationship might shift. Your body might change. The world might turn upside down. So here's the truth Tolle is pointing to. It's not the uncertainty that causes your suffering. It's the resistance to it. The constant mental fight. This shouldn't be happening. I need to know how it ends. I can't relax until I'm sure. But what if the peace you're seeking isn't found in answers? What if it's found in your ability to stay open, even without them? Because when you stop needing guarantees, you become available to everything. Opportunities you never imagined, paths you couldn't see before, parts of yourself you didn't know were strong. Letting go of control doesn't mean giving up. It means surrendering to reality. Without fear, without panic, without forcing, it means saying, I don't know what's coming, but I trust that I'll meet it, one breath at a time. That is where real peace begins, not in certainty, but in presence. Let's make this real. This quote isn't meant to sit on the wall or sound nice in a journal. It's meant to be used in the messy, complicated, emotional reality of adult life. So how do you actually become more comfortable with uncertainty? 1. Recognize the cost of control. Start by asking yourself, what has my need for control cost me? Peace of mind, hours of sleep, spontaneity, joy, the ability to say, I don't know, without shame. Control might feel safe, but it can become a prison, built out of fear. You don't have to tear it down overnight. Just begin to notice where it's keeping you stuck. 2. Practice micro surrenders. You don't have to surrender your whole life all at once. Start small. Let someone else choose the restaurant. Leave space in your schedule, on purpose. Sit in silence without grabbing your phone. Say, "I'm not sure yet," and let that be okay. Each small moment where you don't cling, you teach your nervous system something powerful. Uncertainty is not danger, it's space. And in that space, new things can enter. 3. Interrupt the fear script. When your mind starts spiraling, what if this goes wrong? What if I fail? What if I can't handle it? Pause. Take a breath and gently ask, is this thought helpful or just familiar? Most fear is recycled. It's not truth. It's repetition. You don't need to silence the voice completely. You just need to stop letting it drive. 4. Create stillness, even when your mind resists. Stillness doesn't mean everything is quiet. It means you are no longer reacting to the chaos. Try sitting for 3 minutes with your eyes closed, breathing slowly and deeply through uncertainty, whispering to yourself, "I am safe, even if I don't know what's next." These tiny moments, they matter. They rewire your nervous system. They remind you, you are not the fear, you are the witness. 5. Shift from outcome obsession to presence. Instead of constantly asking, will it work out? What will happen next? Ask this instead. What does this moment need from me? Not your whole future, just this moment. That's the only piece of life you ever really own. And when you give it your full attention, life starts to feel less like something to survive and more like something you can walk through with trust. Her name is Melissa. She's 42, single mother, project manager, always organized, always strong, always in control. At least, she used to be. But this past year, nothing has gone to plan. Her department was downsized. Her son started struggling in school. Her mother's health began to decline. Melissa did what she always does. She made plans, lists, strategies. But the more she tried to fix everything, the more life slipped through her fingers. She barely slept. She couldn't focus. And one night, she found herself in the kitchen, gripping the counter, whispering, "I can't do this anymore." That's when she remembered a line she had saved months ago from a book by Eckhart Tolle. When you become comfortable with uncertainty, infinite possibilities open up in your life. She didn't feel comfortable. She felt exhausted, afraid, raw. But she realized something. Her fear wasn't just about the problems. It was about not knowing how they would end. So she did something radical. She stopped trying to figure it all out, just for today. She gave herself permission to not have the answers. She turned off her phone. She took her son for a walk. They laughed, really laughed, for the first time in weeks. Not because everything was okay, but because she stopped demanding that it be. In the weeks that followed, things didn't magically resolve. But Melissa changed. She started showing up differently, less controlling, more open, less tense, more present. And slowly life began to move. Not in the direction she planned, but in the direction she needed. Not because she forced it, but because she allowed it. There's a quiet kind of strength in letting go. Not collapsing, not giving up, but releasing the belief that your safety depends on knowing what comes next. It doesn't. You're allowed to not have the answers. You're allowed to be uncertain. You're allowed to trust something beyond the map. Because the truth is, you don't need to control everything to be okay. You just need to be present with what's real, right now. Uncertainty is not your enemy. It's a canvas. It's the space where something new can find you. Something better. something more aligned with who you are now. But it only appears when you stop holding on so tight. So if you're in a season of change, if the future feels blurry, don't panic. Breathe. Be still. And remember, you're not falling apart. You're falling into something new. And the more you soften into not knowing, the more you'll discover possibilities you couldn't even imagine while clinging to control. If this message resonated with you, if you're standing in the unknown right now, I want to ask you, what's one thing you're ready to stop controlling? You don't have to explain everything. Just name it in the comments. Let it go, even if just a little. And if you found comfort here, please consider liking this video, sharing it with someone trying to carry too much, subscribing for more reflections like this, gentle, honest, and human. We're not here to master life. We're here to live it, one breath, one surrender, one moment at a time. Thank you for being here.